Hi, I'm Mark Roberts. I'm going to give you a brief, about 10 or 15 minute course in merchandising my most magical fairies and elves. Pay close attention because I'm going to have a lot of fun little tricks to show you inside of here, and it's going to be worth your time. So let's go back here and let's get started, okay? Let's start out with some basics. They're very important basics though. Number one, the boxes. Keep these gift boxes. Consumers want these gift boxes when they purchase your fairies and elves. If space is ever an issue, you can always fold them down. They're designed to fold down flat like that, and then you can store them that way, so you don't have a problem with that. You can do it either way, whatever works for you. Second thing, which is very important, is the consumers want these registration cards. A little trick that I have seen is for retailers is they've taken the large size paper clip and clipped it right onto the back of his coat or his jacket or something. That works out really good. Consumers oftentimes will not purchase a fairy or elf without that registration card and the gift box. So they might get really upset and attack or assault your sales staff, your coworkers, and you don't want to do that. You want to be a good coworker. So take care of your coworkers, look out for them, and be sure that you keep the registration cards and keep the boxes for them. Now that we're saving the registration cards, let's be sure that we get the consumers to fill them out. Very easy. Fill it out here, cut it off here, mail it in here. Consumers know that when they register these fairies and elves that they get lots of different benefits that we do for them. We send out postcards, we send updates through email, through the regular mail to them. We send out great things like these catalogs twice a year. We send out calendars just once a year and other good things. So consumers know about that. They want to register those. They're special pieces. They're unique. They are limited editions. So you want to be sure to save all these registration cards and boxes for them, because we do a lot of good things for them, and we want to continue to do that for the consumers and for you, the retail. Okay, now for the real meat and potatoes. Fluff out your fairies and elves. Animate them. Breathe some life into them. Let's get this guy out of the box first. We've got the No Place Like Home fairy, and he comes in with all this cello wrap. I'm going to use some scissors to cut it a little bit, and I think I can then get him out of here pretty easily. You want to cut it out. You don't want to force it out. All right. Now, with this fairy, first thing that I like to do when I'm fluffing him out, this is how he comes out of the box. It's not too good looking. Let's stretch his arms out. All the arms. Pull the hat up. I'm going to spread the legs a little bit. There's some stuff on here. A little bit of hair, a little bit of fur. We're going to clean that up a little bit as we're going along, because there's just a little bit of that there. Then, I've still got my scissors here. What I'm going to do in the back where the wings are is I'm going to separate them out first a little bit. Then with my scissors, I'm going to just cut this wax paper off so I don't... Look how easy that comes off. Cut the wax paper off. I didn't get as lucky that time, but it still comes off easily. Okay, we've got him separated out. We've got him spread out like that. Easy to see his body laid out like that. First thing I'm going to now do is take his wings and spread them out a little bit. Then I want to curl the wings. And notice I'm going to curl the two wings on the right-hand side. I'm going to curl those to the right. And the two wings on the left-hand side, I'm going to curl them to the left. Now I've created some depth and some movement and some magic. Fluffing the wings out like this really does bring out the magic in the fairies, but we've still got a long ways to go. Now, I've got the hat here. This is a long hat in this case. So I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to wrap them around the hat and curl it like so, and create some movement going on with the hat there. I'm going to bend his arms at the shoulder joint and the elbow joint, and I'm going to bring this arm up, and he's got keys in his hand here. That's why he's called the No Place Like Home fairy. He's got the keys. Bend his other arm there and bring it down. I'm going to also, he has a cape. This cape is wired. That allows you to create some movement, which we're going to do in a little bit. But for right now, I'm going to lift this cape up, and I'm going to put my thumb right here on the small of his back, at the lower part of his back, and I'm going to flex his body back. Look what I'm doing. I'm being a little rough with him. Flexed his body back to stretch him out a little bit. Cape will come back down. Then I'm going to bend him at the hip joint and the knee joint, the hip joint, and the knee joint. What I've done is I've created a little bit of a running pose with this guy, but again, I'm still not done. I'm going to take the toes and I'm going to curl his toes. You can use a pen to do this. That's really easy to do. I can just do it with my fingers. But either way, curl his toes a little bit. Everything is wired, so this is really great. Again, we're still not done. I want to turn his head a little bit and give him a little bit more animation. The head is easily wired and bendable and posable. And so the last part that I have on this particular one is the cape. And I'm going to curl it up a little bit. You're getting that wire in there for movement, and I've got to put my wings back down because they got moved around. So what I've got here now is a little fairy that flies real nicely. Just the same, there's a little tube in the back for these snow base stands. I designed these in particular with the little tube in the small of his back, right there. I'm going to have to pinch that a little bit so that it fits onto the stand. See if I can do this easily and let you see it at the same time. Pinch it right onto his back there, and he's going to go in for me. Look at that. It goes in fine. I then create a little bit of a pose here, get him moving and running. The arms go out. Lots of different things that you can do, the different elements. Turn his head, maybe groom his beard a little bit. Just give him some movement. I got to get the wings again in the back there. So again, whether it is on a stand or flying, you fluffed him out and created some movement and some magic. You remember what he looked like when we took him out of the box? Looks a lot better now. Okay, you're probably going to be using tables or cabinets to display your fairies and elves, and you're probably going to need a fair amount of space for them. Remember this though, animation and drama is going to more than pay for itself in your display. Another thing to consider, you're going to want to keep much or most of your stock on the floor. Consumers tend to know what they want and will be looking for different pieces that maybe interact and go with each other. Another thing that you're going to want to do, or at least consider, are these little tent cards. I saw these done at a store and I thought it was a great idea. They identify the name of the fairy or the elf, and this is the drummer boy elf. There he is there in large, and here he would be in small if you had the small one also. You've got the boxes close by, has the name of the tent card, the name of the elf, the name of the fairy, easily identifiable for your customers. When you're displaying your fairies and elves, you want to keep them organized. You want to keep them together, yet at the same time you also want to keep them separated. And by that, I mean that you want to keep the fairies all together in one cabinet and your elves all together in another cabinet. They're close, they're together, and yet at the same time they're separated, and they're also organized. Another little trick that you can want to use in your displays is use these snow-based stands. They're great to use in your displays. Consumers love buying these also. You definitely want to use them in the displays because this is what helps give you some animation and some movement. You can do different poses with them. I showed you earlier how you can put them on the stand after you fluffed them, and now you're just creating different movement with them on your displays. Do fun poses with them. Be sure to merchandise the stands together with the fairies and elves. The stands sell really quite well. You'll want to have them out there on the floor also. You can also merchandise using garlands. Look how I've wrapped the garland across the top of the cabinet and then used some small and medium fairies in the garland display. I've added some ornaments to their hands, create a little bit of excitement. Additionally, I've got on this cabinet here 2 medium-sized fairies stringing together a glass bead garland that's going across the cabinet. They're interacting together. They are creating some movement and some animation and some drama going on. You've also created something where if they like this particular fairy, now that you've tied this one together with it, then your customer may want to decide that they want a second one and replicate the good ideas that you and I are sharing with each other right now. So let's be sure you do that. You could do that with a string of lights. There's other things that you could do, adding ornaments to their hands and such. Basically what we've done is we've made an ordinary cabinet a little bit extraordinary and brought it to life. The cabinets are inviting. They've got some drama going on. People are going to naturally gravitate to them.